Mekhi Williams. Hello.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hello.
Well, conferred with the state, they have made an offer of photo offer with my client. I still need to go over the discovery with the client as well. I've just kind of pointed these cases and they're voluminous in nature, so I need to go over that with him.
All right, we'll set it for discovery and we'll set it for discovery at the end of January. If your attorney wants you brought back sooner, we can bring you back sooner. Do you understand? Do you have any questions about anything? All right, Lance, if I gotta have a discovery on Williams for the end of January.
January 28th, Judge.
All right, January 28th.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, who's here on Jennifer Rodriguez? Court is calling 2024 CR 011008 State versus Jennifer Lee Rodriguez. And there are no applications?
No, Judge, just for the record, she's slow.
Oh, no problem. All right, could I have the parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Bridget Gottesdorf for defense.
And are you Jennifer Lee Rodriguez? Counsel, have you received all discovery?
Yes,
Did you review it with your client?
yes,
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Rodriguez, did you review the indictment? Those are telling you what your charges are. Did you review that with your attorney?
yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're waiting count one, proceeding on count two. And Judge, there's, I believe that the indictment on count two was incorrect. And we are asking to verbally amend it.
All right, what are you requesting to amend it to?
The last portion just says is of an amount of 1 gram. We're asking to add the at the end of that or less.
Any objection?
We have no objections, Your Honor.
All right, do you understand that they are asking that count two, there be a change to it? Did you understand that? All right, so they want to add or less those words. Did you understand that? All right, so that's a big change. Knowing that that's a big change, you have a right to say, you know what? I don't want to do this today. I want to wait to give my attorney a chance to review some things. Your attorney will have 10 days to do that. Do you want to go forward with that change, or do you want your attorney to have time to look over things? All right, thank you. All right, did you review your rights with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 1 gram or less. It's a state jail felony. State jail felonies, the range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have an agreement with the state. I don't have to follow that agreement. I will tell you from reviewing everything, I most likely will follow the agreement. But if I decided not to follow the agreement, then you would have a right to withdraw your plea. You understand? All right. Did you understand you have a right to go to jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Because you're entering this plea, you're telling the court you don't want to go to jury trial. Do you understand? Do you want the court to go forward with this plea? Yes, that's what you want? All right. You don't have to testify. And by going forward with this plea, it also means that your attorney is not going to get a chance to question any witnesses. You understand? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses? Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense? Ms. Rodriguez, has anyone forced you to go forward with this plea? Anybody promise you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain with your attorney? Did you understand it? All right, according to the plea, your punishment is going to be 95 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. The state will take in consideration 2024 CR 011-002 and County Court Cause number 719-551. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State is that the plea? And is this going to result in a judgment satisfied?
It is.
All right. Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, by signing that, you're giving up your right to appeal. You're giving up the right to say, hey, I changed my mind, or I don't like the way that was done. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
The only exception to that is if your attorney has filed some motions for me to hear, you understand, and rule upon. Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There has not.
Then to the offense as charged in count 2, how do you plea? Guilty?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Again, you know you can go to jury trial if you want to. By entering this plea, you're telling the court you don't want a jury trial. Is that still true? All right. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Our judge.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we're just asking the state to follow the recommendation.
Asking the court.
Sorry.
That's okay. Excuse me, can you sign that? All right, then the court will find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 95 days in the Bear County Jail under 1244. Take in consideration 2024 CR 011002 and County Court Cause number 719551. The court will show that the judgment is satisfied. We can go off the record. When you're released, if you have an issue with finding a place to stay or helping you with any drug issues, you can always come back to this court, okay? All right, good luck to you. I'm only doing these last 2 cases. Everybody else is gonna have to come back this afternoon on a different day. Thank you. Byron AG. Court is calling 2024 CR 007572. State off the record. The last case I have is Eduardo Ramon. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Tony Jimenez.
And are you Mr. AG? Is it AG or age? Age? All right. You're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That's a 2nd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine, affirmative finding of deadly weapon, and no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea? Outside the agreement, the state is requesting no contact with the complainant. Did you understand that's a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? All right, after reviewing safe exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Very briefly, Judge, my client has a history of mental health issues, diagnosis, treatment. He was homeless. We would ask the court, if the court does follow the recommendation of the 5-year sentence, that it make a referral to the therapeutic community.
All right. The court will find you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Pablo Flores, and there's to be no contact with 7616 Calabria Road. And the court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. And the court will request the therapeutic community. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Your mental health issues, your drug issues do not give you leave to violate the law. I understand that sometimes when you're homeless, you have to make sure that people know that you're physically strong and they can't do certain things to you. but you're not allowed to do that. You understand? All right, good luck to you. You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Judge.
Thank
Your
you.
excuse.
Who's here on Eduardo Ramon?
I am Judge.
Are you all ready to proceed?
We are Judge.
Court is calling 2023 CR 4449, State of Texas versus Eduardo Ramon. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Kelly Piddle?
Are you Mr. Ramon Jr.?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the motion to revoke community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Eduardo Ramon Jr. who's placed on community supervision in 2023 CR 4449 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on October 5th, 2023 for a period of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty? Well, you're already been determined to be guilty, but the court could find it true and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $500 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor.
Any objection to the court reviewing the court summary?
No. Judge, he has a County Court 13 ABI family case that he was arrested for and has an offense date prior to him being placed on probation in this case.
Okay.
And he had a warrant for that case. I think that had a large factor in why he was not reporting. I've alerted his counsel on that case that his MTR will be resolved today.
All
to
right.
then go to court.
So I don't have the court summary. Ms. Abrams, on Vermont, what is your,
Here you go.
thank you.
Email this morning.
Okay.
According to the summary, probation recommendation is a jail sanction, dual diagnosis outpatient program, monthly urinalysis, and sober support meetings.
The tap was conducted in jail, Judge.
Okay, so the tap was recently done?
Correct, Judge.
All right, Mr. Ramon, you know yourself better than I do, better than your counsel does, or anybody does. So you have to ask yourself truthfully, are you going to complete this probation or not?
Yes, ma'am.
So here's the thing. I can revoke you today, and if I revoked you today on this case, I would sentence you to 4 years in the prison. Or I can continue you and follow the recommendation of probation.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to discuss that?
No, recommendation. It's working.
So you want to continue with probation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will deny the motion. Alter and amend conditions to include the following. It'll be dual diagnosis, outpatient treatment with probation, monthly UAs. And there's going to be 120 sober meetings in 120 days. And you're going to need to get a sponsor. So when you go to those meetings, start thinking about who you would want to be your sponsor. So that it can be somebody you can call up if you think about, hey, I feel like using, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, how long has he been in jail?
He's been in jail 20 days already, so.
So I'm not going to do a jail sanction. If I were to do a jail sanction and give you credit for the time that you've already been in jail, if you were revoked, you know what ended up happening? You would not be entitled to those days because they will have already been used for your jail sanction. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Who's here on Jose Escalon? All right. Today is plea deadline date.
Judge, he's been accepted in the PTD.
Okay.
I've already talked to Lucy.
Mhm.
She emailed us contract on the 3rd of this month.
Okay.
I emailed it back to her on the 9th. She didn't get it.
Okay.
And so we're here today. I talked to her, I got it, and she said that he should be in there in the next week or two.
All
So
right.
I'm gonna send him over there after that, today. He has the address for the bill and everything.
All right, Lance, can you give me a reset date for 30 days on Escalon?
Thank you, Judge.
Sure. And it's for a pretrial diversion.
Of January 16th.
All right, January
Hold
16th.
on 1 second. I think that'll work. I love it. Let's do it.
All right, so January 16th. And of course, if he's completed everything and
Yeah,
it's
no-
dismissed, he won't have to come.
Do you understand that? what happens if you're in, so if you get on the ball and get everything done, they're gonna dismiss the state, right? So you gotta be proactive, all right?
All right,
Alrighty.
and counsel, if there's any issues, just let the court know.
Thank you, Judge.
And once he signs the reset form, he's excused.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Alright.
you.
Well, let's see.
Luis Briceño, good morning. You're still confident about Pittsburgh?
Eagles are tough. Eagles are tough. Eagles.
Oh, I'm not jinxing it. That's your football buddy.
I know.
He doesn't seem very confident.
It's tough.
Mhm.
They're favored.
He said, it's tough.
We haven't won there since 1960.
He said, you all have not won there since 1965. Is today the day? I don't know.
I was actually there last time.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got destroyed. It was not
Oh.
in Philly.
So Bashan, I don't know if you know about him. He will post when he's at the games. He's all decked out, right? And he said he was there at the last time they played and it wasn't fun.
It was not.
Were the Philly fans at least nice to you all?
They were nice until they started to destroy us, and then they were not nice.
Then they're like, hey, why are you wasting our time?
Unfortunately, my wife was like 8 months pregnant, so
Yeah.
they weren't too bad.
Oh, see that now that's a memory. She's gonna say, I remember that. I was 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And they didn't win. Hey, I think you guys will win this time. We'll see.
Good
All
chance.
right. So on this case, where are we on discovery?
So this is the first setting. There was I spoke to Mr. Garahan about it. There was absolutely no discovery in the system for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. So he was, I guess, working on it.
All right. How old are you?
Sorry.
That's okay. People say that all the time. No, that's okay. So are you in school?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So what is your, no gum chewing? That's okay. Don't chew gum.
I'll get him right back. Oh, I just swallowed it, sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. You know what people would always tell us if you swallow gums that it'll stick to your
7
intestine
years.
and you're not gonna survive? Don't swallow gum. Who knows what can happen to your intestines? All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reset this for, can we set it for 45 days for discovery? All right. And let me ask you this. You say you're in school. Are you in college?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So then what we'll do, are you in college here in San Antonio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Which school?
San Antonio College.
All right. So then what we can do, because I don't want to interfere with tests or
Right,
anything
please
of
hold
that
it down.
nature. If you want him to appear by Zoom, because it's a discovery setting, he can appear by Zoom.
Okay. I'll put in there.
All right. So we'll see you back on January 30th. All right. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Make sure you include your email on that so they can email you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Court is calling 2023 CR 1221 State versus Joshua Johnson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
Joseph Redvelt for Mr. Johnson.
And are you Mr. Johnson?
Correct. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're doing this hearing by Zoom. Mr. Johnson, do you waive your right to appear in person?
Correct. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by Zoom. Counsel, have you received all of the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, I have, Your Honor, and I've reviewed it with Mr. Johnson.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Johnson, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court does not have an application for deferred adjudication. Are you applying for deferred adjudication, Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you. If the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into an agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Defenses, no, Your Honor, but statements that we'd be able to use at trial, yes.
All right. Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Johnson, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Very satisfied.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at a $2,000 fine, and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
That is the plea, Your Honor.
State,
I believe
is
there's
that-
also a tap. I believe there's also a tap evaluation in there as well.
All right, state, is that the plea? All right, let's go out the record for a moment. So everyone, you all need to whisper. And who is standing behind you, Andrew? Hi. They can move your guy at the top or further down, at least. No, not behind the court reporter, just further down. All right, we're back on the record. State, is that the plea? Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph, Mr. Johnson, with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There be 200 hours of community service restitution, and that there be no contact with Christopher Theodore. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
That is plea, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm a little bit distracted because I don't have the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal.
I'm sending that to him right now.
All right, thank you. All right. Did you understand that those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence? Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, off the record. So counsel, the coordinator is sending you, one, the application for deferred adjudication, and also the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal.
Okay.
All right, we're back on the record. Mr. Johnson, did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
And state, you may be excused. Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. State, have you had contact with the complainant?
Personally, no, Your Honor.
All right, so why should I follow this agreement?
Believe the agreement was negotiated by the Your Honor.
Sorry, Judge, you asked the state or you asking me?
The state, yes. So has there been contact with the complainant? All right, while they're reviewing that, tell me about your client, counsel.
Your Honor, I've been practicing law. I mean, I think it just started my 19th year, specifically in criminal defense, then retired duration. Mr. Johnson is one of those clients. He's been very diligent from the start. He is working very closely with me. His mother has been very close contact with me. He does everything that he's supposed to do. He works. He hasn't violated any terms of his bond. He's very, very much active in this matter and wants to do everything right. This is his first time ever being in trouble. He's accepting this plea. He accepts the fact that he has to plead no contest to the facts as is. In my investigation of the case, although the complaining witness spoke with me once, he did not want to go through any type of detail as to what happened. There are some discrepancies as to what the officer found versus what the alleged victim had written in his statement. And Mr. Johnson did give a voluntary statement over to the police at the time of incident as to what occurred. So I think the allegations as put forth by the CW are a little bit exaggerated, although there was a brandishing of a firearm in a what I guess would be considered a semi-road rage incident in San Antonio. So Mr. Johnson was open with the officer, admitted to what happened. He's shown remorse. I really, truly believe that he is deserving of a chance of a deferred adjudication, probation, and to prove to the court that this is going to be a minor glitch, although serious glitch in his life that he will come to terms with. He will do as the court deems necessary to prove that he deserves this chance and have his adjudication deferred.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, yes, the complainant was spoken with by the DA's office, Dan Escobar. He actually stated that he didn't believe that the individual didn't have a long history, that the defendant not be punished too harshly for something that he thought was a really stupid mistake on the defendant's part.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Johnson. I received information for the complainant. Sometimes I see agreements and I will ask why I should accept these agreements, but I understand in this case why the agreement is what it is. Is your client in Bexar County still or no?
No, he's been in Houston the entire time, Your Honor. He was in Bexar County just briefly during this incident.
All right, so somebody want to tell me, and I'm embarrassed to say, what county is Houston?
Harris.
See, I always think it's Travis, but it's not. It's Harris. Okay. Court will sentence you to 5 years, deferred adjudication, $2,000 fine, probated, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon, transfer to Harris County. Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
Currently, I just started a new job, which is on the 16th. I'm going to be an associate with CT Sounds. CT Sounds is a car audio appliance company. So I'm
Okay.
going to be doing that for a year. Then after that, I was also, I wouldn't say promised, but guaranteed to be a manager for the company as well, making a higher salary. This week, Tuesday was my last day with Daikin and their HVAC assembly company. So with them, I was doing the installation.
All right. So there's proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider with minors. There's to be no contact with Christopher Saldivar. Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Yay. Feel that once you have your life in order, then it's time to, if you want to have children, it's time to formulate a plan. All right, how far did you go to school?
I'm sorry.
How far did you go in school?
High school, I have my diploma, and then I want to say I did 2 years with Lone Star College Sci Fair in Houston, Texas. Additional schooling, I have my real estate license, and then I just finished and graduated last month on November 14th, my cybersecurity cohort class. Right now, I'm just studying to take the CompTIA Security Plus exam.
All right, the court is going to order 200 hours community service restitution if you provide proof of your real estate license and if you pass this cybersecurity test that you're taking, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. And I'm going to order anger management. Yes.
My
Alex-
license, right? Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
I'll
go ahead.
explain it to me. Oh, probably his real estate license is probably suspended as a result of the open case, Your Honor.
Well, I know it's inactive. I haven't searched Texas Real Estate Commission website to see if it is suspended. I
Well,
can
if
check
you show
today.
proof that you had a real estate license and you passed the cybersecurity test that you say that you're going to take, then the court will deem your community service hours satisfied.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Your
the court
Honor,
is going to,
Oh.
yes,
go ahead, Your Honor. I don't want to interrupt. I'm sorry. I
All right.
did.
court is going to order anger management classes, probation. Is there anything else he needs? Yes. Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful, Mr. Johnson?
No, ma'am.
Question, Your Honor. The anger management, what level are you wanting him just to do the online course or a course through probation? with multiple
Probation.
classes?
Probation will let him know the acceptable course.
Okay. Lastly, Mr. Johnson is currently on an ankle monitor as part of his bond conditions. Would Your Honor
Any
sign an
objection
order
to
for the same?
removing of the ankle monitor? All right.
I didn't hear what you said, but
He wants him to appear in person to provide a thumbprint, his thumbprint. All right, the GPS will be removed. And then I am still awaiting from you. They're going to send you an email. I need the trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal. Did your attorney go over the trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal with you, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. With regards to the request for a fingerprint, probation, can you see if it can be coordinated in Houston with him providing a fingerprint to them on a copy of a judgment?
Yes.
Otherwise, you're gonna have to come back to San Antonio to do that. All right,
Yes,
I'm gonna send you all to breakout room. I'll send you all to breakout room number 1. And please do not leave until you have signed that trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal.
will do, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, they'll get that to you. You're welcome. Eduardo Porter III. Court is calling 2024 CR 008136, State of Texas versus Eduardo Porter III. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
on behalf of Mr. Porter.
Are you Mr. Porter? Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Mr. Porter, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Porter, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Again, did you understand that you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in each count? Those are second-degree felonies. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked in each count, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, the state is proceeding on counts 1 and 2. Punishment is to be assessed at 7 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. It isn't checked off, but if the court were to find that there was an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon, or at least a deadly weapon was used, the court will make an affirmative finding of deadly weapon in each count. Did you understand? There's to be restitution, if any, to Brandon Taylor, and the state is silent on your application for deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense, is that the plea?
That's our agreement, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your
Outside the agreement, there's to be no contact with Brandon Taylor. Did you understand that's a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation? Then to count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
To count 2, how do you plead?
No.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty of counts 1 and counts 2. The court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. We'll set this for a PSI and we will come back. And at that time, I'll make a decision on your application based upon the PSI and the TAP evaluation and whatever evidence is presented. Do you understand? All right, Lance, I need a PSI date on Porter.
February 4th.
All right, so we'll be back on February 4th. Do not leave the courtroom until you've spoken with probation, okay? And you'll need to do a reset form. Once you sign that, please include your email. All right, thank you. Thank you for dressing appropriately. Theodore McCullough. Court is calling 2023 CR 5612, State of Texas versus Theodore Joel McCullough. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Your Honor.
Defense?
John Hector Garza Jr.
All right, and are you Mr. McCullough?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Theodore Joel McCullough who was placed on community supervision in 2023 CR 5612 for the offense of evading arrest, detention, second or more on July 26, 2023 for a term of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then the court will follow your agreement. The court will grant the motion, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, and give you credit for any time served. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to recommend the therapeutic community. We can go off the record. Here's the thing. If you continue thinking the way you think, you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison or in somebody's jail. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the court summary report that the court received, you need to do better. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And tattooing reckless on your head is not a good thing, because what you tattoo on your body, you start believing it, you see it every day. You understand? All right, when you're released from prison, if you need help with anything, with drug treatment or housing or something, if I'm still here, you can come back here. I'll pick up the phone to call somebody to help you. But don't pick up any new cases. You understand?
How much time ready do I have?
You'll have to speak to the clerk about that.
All right, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Johnson. Let me
I-
close the breakout rooms and hopefully he'll come in. So as soon as he comes in, I'll take that matter. All right, what issue did you all want to address?
I did not know if Bear County, since Your Honor had taken the electronic monitoring off of him, I don't know if he owes anything. I know he pays $300 a month for that. I don't know if Your Honor would be willing to waive any money that's owed so that he doesn't get turned away at the desk. Because
I
it's
can
not,
say it's waived, but what I can tell you is, regardless of whether he owes money or not, I've ordered that the GPS be removed, so the GPS be removed.
perfect. Thank you so much, Your Honor. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Oh, and okay. All right, I'll see you all. Bye-bye.
Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank
you
you.
too.
I'm excused, correct? Just want to make
Yes,
sure.
you are.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. I will tell you, that's the first person who's been accused who can work Zoom better than anybody. He would go to the room, it's done. Oh, and Yaya, I received the other motions for Mr. Johnson, so I signed them.
Do you go by Yaya or is that just Judge's name?
Oh, no, they tell me to call her Yaya because I can't pronounce her first name. I can't roll my R's or do any of that.
Yeah, Haida. No, I know, but
See,
does
I
everyone call
tried
you-
Yahida and they tell me it was wrong.
No, yeah, Haida. My husband has the same problem, and my son's teacher is Miss Suarez.
Mhm.
He says he says Suarez. I don't know.
Okay,
But
that's
he-
what I say too.
Yeah. But he said he knew someone growing up with that last name, and he said, I always said Suarez. And my 5-year-old corrects him, Daddy, it's Miss Suarez.
Let me just tell you, I could not say, Perez. And then somebody said, Stephanie, can you say petite? I'm like, oh yeah. They're like, there you go. So they're like, do it that way. And so in my mind, I'm really saying petite. So like Perez, Perez. And they're like, oh, you have it. So I still can't roll my R's though.
Yes.